Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatic Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Alrighty, welcome back to another Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. Today we have a entirely Brewers-centered episode, and just kind of as an icebreaker on the Brewers did make a trade today, which if you follow our page, you would have seen. The Brewers traded for Lance McCullers Jr. and Colton Gordon from the Astros. Now, Lance McCullers Jr. is owed about $7 million for the rest of the season. The Brewers are picking that up, and then they're getting Colton Gordon, who has had great numbers at AAA so far this year. His numbers in Major League Baseball are a little scary, but they are also small sample size. And the one example that I gave to somebody, which reading about Colton Gordon, haven't done like a full deep dive yet. I probably will between today and tomorrow, is that he's got great stuff, but just hasn't, put it into Major League Baseball numbers. If you look at his AAA numbers, they're great. So to me, the comp that I gave for people to look at and be like, his numbers aren't great, but the stuff is there, is Nick Mears. That's the kind of feel that I got with the Brewers picking up Colton Gordon. And they essentially got him for free just by taking on the last $7 million of McCullers' contract, because the Astros are so desperate to get money going out because their team is dog water this year.
Right.
So that on its own would make the deal worth it. I mean, the Brewers gave up Jaden Fielder, which is an unfortunate, it's a nostalgia thing. If we're being honest, Jaden Fielder is a 21-year-old DH/outfielder at low A ball.
Yeah.
Yes, it's cool that we had Jaden Fielder and CC Sabathia's son on the same team. That's cool, but it's not something that's going to help you win ball games, unfortunately.
Not in 2026.
So, it's cool, but is it cooler than trying to help your major league club? I don't think it's that cool. I wouldn't trade Brandon Woodruff, and let's just use Garrett Stallings as an example, to get Craig Counsell's son to the Brewers high A team. You know what I mean? The nostalgia is not worth trying to help the major league club, which even if McCullers still, struggles through injuries like he has in his career, not that worried about it. Colton Gordon has 5 years of team control left after this.
Yeah.
That alone is worth Jaden Fielder.
Right.
And then you have a guy like Lance McCullers, who is basically like Woodruff. You're just hoping if he can be healthy, he can be good and help you. The encouraging thing is that I've read that McCullers has had 3 really good rehab starts, and they were expecting him back right after the All-Star break. So there's some help for the Brewers pitching depth. So that's good. What we are doing today is we are discussing the Milwaukee Brewers first half. So we're going to recap the first half for the Brewers, and then we are going to recalibrate what the Brewers need to do in the second half to give themselves a chance at winning a World Series, which is the goal. So, Jake, looking at the first half for the Brewers, what are you looking at? What did you see? What did you like? What did you not like? What do you think about the first half of the season for the Brewers?
So I went with a lot of positives. So for me, I wrote down that they set a franchise record for wins at the All-Star break at 59-37. They're 1 win short of being the 21st team ever with 60 wins at the break, which is damn, man, so close. There's only one team that did it this year. I'd be shocked if people couldn't name that team. Had the best 70-game mark in franchise history, the best 70-game record after the first 70 games of the season. They set that franchise record at 44-26, so that's pretty cool. I just like they've been setting a lot of milestones, and Tyler and I talked about this for weeks. Oh, most wins, fastest wins to 50, and all this other stuff. So I wanted to write some of that down. They have a plus 137 run differential, which is second in Major League Baseball. Again, guess the who. I have some hitting and pitching stats that I'll talk about. Oh, before I get into that, I apologize. The Brewers are also 30-19 versus teams over 500. They are also 15-14 in one-run games. So they're winning. They're winning in one-run games. They're winning versus teams over 500. They're 7-3 in extra innings, 38-22 at night, and 21-15 on the day. So I mean, it doesn't matter day, night, one run, over 500, road, home. It doesn't matter. The Brewers are just winning baseball games. That's a beautiful thing. So some of the rankings that I have some hitting and some pitching. In terms of hitting, I wrote down MLB and NL ranking. So in average, they're fifth in the NL, sixth in total MLB. On base percentage, they're third in the MLB and the NL. The NL is dominating this year.
I didn't even take anything with the NL with the AL NL version. I just did Major League Baseball because the AL is bad.
Yeah, there were just a couple of them where they moved down a little bit. Like slugging, they're 10th in the NL and 19th in Major League Baseball. So that's something that can improve. OPS overall, they're 7th in the NL and 9th in Major League Baseball at 735. They're tied for 14th and tied for 28th in total home runs at 89. Total runs, they're fourth in both. And they also have 89 stolen bases, which is fourth in the NL and tied for sixth in Major League Baseball. So 89 home runs, 89 stolen bases. But they hit for high average and they get on base. So that's obviously how their offense works. If you live under a rock, this would explain how the Brewers score.
I also took down the Brewers where they stand. They are second in walk rate in baseball at 10.6%, and they are 24th in strikeout rate at 20.9%. So the Brewers, their team plate discipline is very good.
Yes, even if they aren't getting as much offensive production from third base and shortstop so far this season, which obviously has been the biggest concern for people.
Yeah. Also, striking out is not a problem with them producing runs.
Right. So Rengifo was having a tough year. Obviously got DFA'd and picked up by the Padres. Joey Ortiz, for some reason, the guy just knows how to hit when he plays third base. It doesn't make any sense. But, hey, if it works, it works. And Cooper Pratt has been good. I'm not going to say he's been like, oh, my God, he's been the greatest rookie I've ever seen in my life. But he's been good for expectations that he's had to meet, still giving you elite defense. I'm sure I'll feel the same way about Luis Lara in a couple of weeks. Like, he's been good. Like, he's giving you defense. He's playing hard, and he's learning on the fly.
And he's a good base runner.
Dude, so fast.
Both Pratt and Lara, good base runners. Yeah,
they just add more speed to you, which is another good point. So in terms of pitching, some pitching stats I have. Earned run average, they are first in baseball at a 348 average, so that's really nice.
You want to put a pin in that? Let's do hitting stats. Let's do the rest of the hitting stats first, and then we'll switch to pitching. So what I did was I also looked at where the team stood in June and July because they went through a really, really, really rough stretch with runners in scoring position. So I kind of just wanted to look at where the Brewers stood on the season with runners in scoring position, and then where they stood in June and July when they were kind of going through their slumps. And even with their slumps during June and July, they still have the second best record in baseball. So on the season, in average, the Brewers are fourth with runners in scoring position. They're sixth in slugging, fourth in walk percentage, 18th in strikeout percentage, and number one in runs. In June and July, 19th in batting average. We're going to talk more about that in the calibration. 18th in slugging, still fourth in walks, walk percentage, 15th in strikeout percentage, and fifth in hard hit percentage, even though they're 21st on the season. So they're having a little bit of bad luck. And yet they are still number one in runs with runners in scoring position since the beginning of June.
Yep.
Looking at the team as a whole, they are second in batting average in June and July. Number one, Pittsburgh, who they got swept by. Number two, in on-base percentage at 349. Number one in that time, Pittsburgh. They are seventh in slugging. Number two is Pittsburgh. looking at those numbers and seeing that the Pirates are pretty hot offensively, made me feel a little bit better about the sweep going into the break. Not that you want to get swept, but it's like, all right, I'm going to pump the brakes and put a little bit of respect on Pittsburgh's offense because they've been pretty damn good the last month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
If their pitching outside of like their starters was good, they'd probably be kind of where the Cardinals are right now.
Yeah, they got a chance to make the playoffs this year.
They were my pick to finish third in the division. Just saying, just throwing that out there.
The Cubs are still pretty good though.
The Cubs are still good. They were then for me it was Brewers, Cubs, Pirates, Cardinals, Reds.
Yeah,
that's still in play, I think.
Yeah.
So the sky is not as falling as much as people want to act like it is. Like, yes, it was frustrating to watch them go through some slumps with runners in scoring position, but we talked about it on the show. We talked about it in our posts. The Brewers still found ways to win games during those slumps. That is something that puts them in an elite tier of baseball teams. When you can win when you're not playing well, that puts you in an elite tier. As far as individuals, I looked at trends from June and July again. Garrett Mitchell, since the calendar turned to June, slashing 326, 379, 574, and a 953 OPS.
Dang.
Garrett Mitchell is hot. Jackson Chourio, 293, 346, 551, and an 897 OPS. He's playing very well. Andrew Vaughn batting 287, 382 on base, 448 slug, and an 831 OPS. That's still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Sal Frelick batting 275 since the beginning of June. League average OPS is 722. Sal's is at 725. It's because his slug is low. Joey Ortiz is batting 271 since the beginning of June. His OPS is still low because he's not getting on base outside of his batting average, but 817 OPS for Bryce Durang, 270 batting average, which is decent, and a 497 slug, which is good for Bryce Durang. William Contreras, this is one of the guys that I'll talk about a little bit later. He's batting 263, which is good. That's still 20 points above league average, but his slug and his on-base percentage is much lower than you would expect from William Contreras. So he just has a 712 OPS since the beginning of June. So hoping to see a little bit more of the power and a little bit more on base from William Contreras in the second half. But Jake Bauer, since the beginning of June, 250 batting average, which is a little bit lower than where he's been at the season, but a 401 on base percentage. That's great. A 533 slug, also great, and a 935 OPS. I will take that all day. And then Christian Yelich, he's got a 230 batting average, a 329 on base, which is okay. That's still above league average. 331 slug and a 660 OPS. Again, I'm going to talk more about Christian Yelich when we get back into the second half recalibration. But looking where the guys stand with runners in scoring position, again, this is something that the team has struggled with. However, league average is 249. I looked at the teams, and I looked right in the middle where the two middle teams are, the league average, 249. So the Brewers since June and July, Garrett Mitchell, 290, Jackson Chourio, 268, Andrew Vaughn, 276, Sal Frelick, 281, Bryce Durang, 361, Jake Bauers, 323, and Christian Yelich, 228. So out of those 9 guys, 7 of them are well above league average with runners in scoring position. And then Joey Ortiz at 156 and William Contreras at 150. Those are the guys that have the opportunity to improve, but I'll mention that a little bit more. But let's go into pitching. Jake, I'll go back to you. Where do you stand with the Brewers' first half pitching?
Yeah, they're good. They're real good. And I guess I'm still – I know that let me restart. I know that Mizorowski missed his last start because of arm fatigue, and there's stuff going on with Kyle Harrison. But I don't see a reason to add another starter, honestly. Like, trade for a big-time guy. I think they needed to add a long relief guy to help Aaron Ashby because he's been the one that's been struggling the last month and a half.
Thankfully, DL Hall is going to be back soon.
Yeah, so
we actually we tried to tell people to put more respect on DL Hall, and I think we're finding out right now with how much Aaron Ashby is being used that DL Hall was very quietly having a really, really helpful season.
Yeah, dude, he helped out Aaron Ashby a ton, and Aaron Ashby helped out the entire staff a ton. So that's support for the support, I guess, is what the point that we're trying to make here. But overall, the pitching has been dominant. Being here earlier, they are first in baseball in team ERA at 3.48. So number one, literally can't get better than that. They are first in the NL and third in all of baseball in total saves. Didn't feel like that the first couple of months, but pretty insane that they're third in baseball in saves. Home runs, now you want to be lower on this one, so this is a good thing. They've only given up 95 home runs. They're 13th in the NL out of 15 teams, and they are tied for 26th in baseball in home runs given up. Do you know who has given up the second most home runs in baseball?
Mets?
Cubs.
Oh, nice.
Only the A's have given up more home runs, and they had to play some games in Las Vegas with some juice baseballs. So
yeah, the trampoline park.
Yeah, they're only ahead of the Cubs by 2. That's pretty sad. Yeah, the Cubs have given up 148 home runs compared to the Brewers 95, which is insane. WHIP, Brewers are second, 1.17, second to the Dodgers. Total walks, they've given up 309, which is, you want to be lower in this, remember. They are 11th in the NL and 20th in Major League Baseball. Total hits, they've given up 694 total hits. That's 14th in the NL. You'll never guess who's given up less. It's the Dodgers, only by 9. And they're 29th in baseball. Dodgers are 30th. Batting average, they have given up a 219, so they're the second lowest in baseball, again to the Dodgers. And shutouts, they are tied for third in baseball in total shutouts with 8. So, I mean, all things considered, obviously having a guy who is on the track to win the Cy Young, it's still not determined, but he, in my opinion, and I understand that I'm a Brewers fan, I would pick him as the lead horse. I think it's close. I think that it's one of those races that if you would pick Sanchez, I wouldn't be too upset with you. I mean, I would be like, damn, that sucks. I wish they could have done a co-Cy Young or something like that. But I'm not going to, like, bitch and moan that he didn't win.
Honestly, it's going to be one of the hottest contested awards for the second half of the season.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But, yeah, anyways, that's all I got. So Brewers pitching is good.
Yeah, you got the team numbers. I, again, looked at some trends, and the two guys that I wanted to highlight for the first half trending, looking at, again, June and July, is Trevor McGill and Abner Uribe. There's been a lot of talk, us included even, about the Brewers potentially acquiring another late-inning reliever. And the two guys that we mentioned most prominently when we discussed rumors last week were Aroldis Chapman and Josh Hader. Now, if you're looking at a lefty, late leverage, potentially closer type guy, I'm not opposed to either of those guys.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. You don't need to replace Trevor McGill or Abner Uribe. Trevor McGill in 15 games, 15 innings in June and July, a 1.20 ERA, 4.8 strikeouts per walk. That's insane. Talking about 5 strikeouts per walk. That is awesome. A 170 opponent batting average and a 32.8% strikeout rate.
Mm-hmm.
So you can pretty much book every time Trevor McGill steps into a batter or into a game that one of the 3 batters he's going to face is going to strike out. You can pretty much guarantee it. Abner Uribe has pitched 16 games, 17 and a third innings since the beginning of June. He has a 1.04 ERA, 2.0 strikeouts per walk, a 161 opponent batting average, and a 19.0 strikeout percentage. He could stand to get the walks down a little bit, but if he does, he's going to be even more elite, especially when you factor in the fact that he's getting 56% ground balls on batted balls. So Abner Uribe, absolutely, doing fantastic. Now, on the second half of the season, do you want to just stick with the pitching and then go back to hitting for the recalibration? Or do you want to go back to hitting and then come back to pitching?
I kind of did all over the place in my goals, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, let me do my pitching stuff.
Yep.
I'll let you jump in, and then I'll finish with what I'm looking at for hitting.
Okay.
So for the second half, for the Brewers to get to I would say at least the NLCS again, I don't think it's really a hot take to say that the NL runs through the Dodgers. I don't think that's a hot take. Even as a Brewers fan, being like, the World Series is the goal. It's absolutely the goal. But we still have to play the fucking Avengers. So being the optimistic and realistic, we're not just going to say, here's how the Brewers win the World Series. We're being realistic. The Dodgers are still the team to beat.
Yes.
Jake mentioned it when he's talking about some of the hitting stats, the thing that they're all...
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Like, if there's a team that's better than the Brewers at just about anything, if it's hitting related, it's going to be the Dodgers. If it's pitching related, it's going to be the Brewers and the Phillies. Pitching for the Brewers for the second half recalibration. Number one, Brandon Sproat needs to go deeper into games. That's going to be one of the biggest things for the Brewers to be able to get healthy to the playoffs, to be able to have a comfortable feeling bullpen. Brandon Sproat needs to go deeper into games.
Okay.
Number two, Logan Henderson needs to stay healthy. I completely trust him in Brandon Woodruff's spot in the rotation. If he stays healthy, his numbers have been fantastic. His stuff looks great. He's gives you a chance, a very, very good chance to win every single time he goes out. Number three, Robert Gasser needs to be more consistent. Robert Gasser, his first two outings were kind of Then he had like four really great outings. And then right before the All-Star break, he gave up 7 runs in 3 innings. So it's like, but some consistency from Robert Gasser, that'll be very helpful. And then number 4, the thing that I had is Aaron Ashby just needs to break out of his slump. I'm not worried about Ashby. Like, his velocity isn't down, so it's not like, oh, he's overworked, he's fatigued. Like, mentally, maybe. Yeah. But then again, you look at guys who play every day or just about every day on the position side. Like, I don't want to use it as an excuse that he's pitched in like 50 games out of 80 something. I don't want to give that as a cop-out and be like, oh, well, he's overworked. Murphy needs to use somebody else instead of always putting in Ashby. Yes, he's one of the most used relievers in baseball, but I don't think that that's a reason why he's in a slump. Baseball players go through slumps. We kind of just know that. But I still trust Aaron Ashby, and I trust that he's going to break out of his slump because he's a good pitcher and he's got good stuff.
Dude, his combination of pitches is just unlike anybody else in baseball. You talk about a starter or a reliever, honestly. And when you have him coming in a game after Mizorowski, and then you have to face either Abner Uribe or Miguel, I mean, you're kind of just like, the fuck is this, dude?
Yeah.
Like, you got to just be like...
He's got one of the best curveballs in baseball.
Oh, he does. And then he's got that sinker that goes 99. It's like,
yeah,
it's just going to saw you off, dude. Like, what are you doing with that? You're not... And then, like I said, if you face Mizorowski and he's throwing freaking 103, dude, like, what?
And if you're looking at Ashby and you're like, all right, I think he's going to throw me a fastball, and then he throws you a curveball, like, you're going to swing out of your shoes.
Exactly. So, I agree.
So, I'm looking at the Brewers' second half starting rotation, and yes, I understand that Harrison's probably going to miss a start, maybe 2 on the injured list, but I'm still looking at Mizorowski, Harrison, Henderson, Sproat/Patrick, if you need to piggyback, Shane Drowan, and then Robert Gasser and Coleman Crowe as potential 6th options. And now we can add Lance McCullers Jr. and potentially Colton Gordon to that mix. The Brewers, the trade they made today gives them more depth. It gives you like 8 or 9 guys that you can use in your rotation, so you don't have to try to rush Brandon Woodruff back if he's going to be able to come back. If Brandon Woodruff's able to come back in September, I'm okay with it. Like I'm down for a last ride type thing with Woodruff. I want to see him healthy in the playoffs one more time. I don't care if it means that he doesn't pitch for the next 2 months.
I agree. And I think that I'm starting to become a little bit more like okay with Woodruff being like a bullpen long relief guy.
I mean, if it's something that can help him,
yeah,
just be able to pitch. Because if you look at, I didn't write his numbers down from June and July, but I saw them.
Yeah.
His numbers are insane. He's one of the best pitchers on the team.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't shock anybody, but even with like diminished stuff, like velocity and stuff like that, like he's a painter.
Yeah.
He's absolutely a painter, and he uses his stuff in such a way that he's able to still get outs. Like even the game where his like arm went dead before his last time on the injured list, he was still getting outs with his changeup.
Dude, he struck a guy out with that changeup, dude. That was insane. I was like no.
He's a very, very good pitcher. Yes, it's a bummer that he's had these injury issues the last 3 years. It sucks.
Yeah.
There's no sugarcoating that. But if he's got a chance to be healthy come September, I want to see him out there.
I agree.
All right. So, Jake, I'm going to let you give your second half recalibrations, and then I'll mention just a couple things I think with hitting, and we'll let it ride.
Yeah, so I'll use this one as the transition, but one of my goals is to continue the growth of young talent while the Brewers continue to build for the future. So the Brewers are just in such a great spot where they're winning games. I talked earlier about how they won a franchise record of games by the All-Star break, yada, yada. We went over that. All their numbers look fantastic. But some guys that you mentioned before, Logan Henderson, Brandon Sproat, Kyle Harrison, those are some of the pitchers that these Brewers are developing on the fly while winning all these games and leading their division,
100%.
Going on the road and playing tough teams. I mean,
we definitely talked about that during the season. Like if the bullpen is well enough to be able to keep Brandon Sproat at the major league level in front of Chris Hook and Jim Henderson,
right?
I'm very, very interested in doing that and having him develop here.
Right. So they're able to develop these young guys. I mean, I didn't even mention a guy who's in his second year, a two-time All-Star. They're still developing Jacob Mizorowski for as dominant as he's been. Think about it. He hasn't even reached his ceiling yet. We don't know what his ceiling is now after this year now. Last year, you were like, oh, man, this guy learns to keep his pitch count down and get some easy ground balls and stuff. This guy could be dominant. Well, he's doing more of that this year. He's still getting the swing and miss, don't get me wrong, because he leads baseball and strikeouts. But if he is in a pinch, he can get a ground ball, which is nice. So still developing a guy like that, and the other three guys that I mentioned. Developing a Luis Lara now, a Cooper Pratt, and another guy that people don't mention enough. Still developing Jackson Chourio. This guy was superstar potential, correct? We all agree on that? I even think Dodgers fans would agree on that, and Cubs fans would agree on that. I think people see the talent that he has, and they're still developing him into that superstar.
Yeah.
So the position the Brewers are in, I love it. Continue to draft and develop. I don't think enough people realize what the Brewers are doing. They took a page out of the Packers book, dude. How long have the Packers been contending and developing young talent, draft and develop? How long have they been doing that? Our whole lives, dude.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, now you have to go into free agency every once in a while, which the Brewers do too. And the Brewers and Packers, they work a lot similar ways, dude. Get this cheaper option. Oh, okay, he'll fit into our system. Get this guy. Oh, okay, he'll fit into our system. Oh, we'll make a splash over here every once in a while. I'm telling you, they're very similar.
And a couple trades here and there.
They're mirroring each other right now, in my opinion. So I have three other goals. Oh my God, I got something in my eye. So I'm gonna save this one for last, but I have two other ones I want to talk about. First one, we talked a lot about runners in scoring position. The Brewers have been dominant, and there's no shying away from it. 290, 387, and 443 slash as a team. They have the fourth most plate appearances of runners in scoring position this year as well, 559. So got to continue to put ducks on the pond and then continue your contact.
Let me just jump in on that because I want to put more emphasis on what you just said. The Brewers have the fourth most attempts with batters or with runners in scoring position. That's how you can be a low average team and still lead baseball in runs with runners in scoring position. So I know I've seen a lot of comments being like, well, the Brewers need to be better with driving runners in from third. It's so frustrating how they get guys on base and they can't drive them in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But the larger of a volume of attempts that you get at that, you will score more runs. I would people to think about this less with like a basketball mentality where you're like, oh, well, they're only making 20% of their shots. Don't think about it like that. You have to think about it in a term of what the production actually looks like.
Yes.
So being number one in runs, that's how you can be bad at 19th in batting average with runners in scoring position for June and July and still produce a lot of runs is because you are putting that traffic on the bases. So, yes, it's frustrating when they don't score every single time. But the fact that they can put two guys in scoring position in 7 out of 9 innings is going to help them score 5-6 runs a game and give them chances to win. Sorry, didn't mean to hijack your conversation.
No, absolutely, no problem. We want to put the context out there so people understand, right? And we have a lot of ideas what we're going to do next summer if baseball's not around, and I'm very excited for that. I would love the Brewers to be on, obviously. I love watching them, but we have some opportunities to really grow ourselves and other people, so I would love that opportunity. My second one is Sal returns the form from 2025. This is a guy last year that led the Brewers in batting average at 288. He had a 351 on base percentage, a 405 slug, a 756 OPS, and he had a 3 WAR. So he was one of the better players on the Brewers last year. And this year, he's had a tough year at the plate. There's no denying it. He's only batting in the 230s. But in terms of batting with runners in scoring position, him and Bryce Terang can't be farther apart. Bryce Terang has done nothing but ascend himself. He's actually first on the Brewers in batting average and RBIs, runners in scoring position. The guy who has the worst batting average is Sal Frelick. He has 19 hits and 79 opportunities of runners in scoring position for a 241 average, which you're thinking 241, that's higher than his actual average. Yeah. But still, when you're on the team, he's kind of the guy that embodies how this team plays. They're tough. They play defense.
And league average, batting average with runners in scoring position, like I said before, is 249. So it's not like he's super far off.
He's just the worst on the Brewers right now. So I would love
crazy that the worst guy on the Brewers is 8 points below league average.
Yeah, right. I just think that's something that could really up this team's production even more, get them even closer to a team like the Dodgers. And then my last thing, I want them to swing for the fences. And I know I'm kind of going opposite of what we've been saying for a little while. I really want them to swing for the fences. I really want them to trade for Yordan because baseball may not happen in 2027. And because of that fact, imagine winning a title in 26, no baseball in 27. That World Series, we'd be able to celebrate that shit for 2 years in a row. It would feel like 2 titles, dude. Think about it, man. If we have to sit through a three-peat of the Dodgers for an extra year, that's right. That's part of the reason that I think you have to go just one time.
All right.
Because this goes back to my correlation with the Packers. For how many years we talked about go for it, make a big swing, go for it. And then you heard all these ghost stories of, they almost had Megatron. They almost had J.J. Watt. Almost this, almost that. Always in the conversation. And I feel like the Brewers are in that, right in the center of that right now. Always in the conversation. They're so close. They're young. They're talented. Go for it one time. And the Packers, by the way, they did end up going for it. They got Michael Parsons. So that's right? That was pretty sweet. Imagine Yordan on the Brewers. That'd be pretty sweet.
That's literally the best option for their worst skill.
Exactly.
Like it's the Packers being terrible at safety and going and getting Xavier McKinney.
100%.
That's the thing where that's like the biggest hole on their team and the best guy at that spot where they need help the most.
Yep.
So I agree. I mean, as long as it doesn't, like, if there is any singular package where the Brewers can send like Sal Frelick, Jet Williams, and some AA and lower prospects, I'm in.
100%.
And maybe if it's even somebody like Josh Adamszewski who has rocketed up the Brewers organization, like we posted about him yesterday. I mean, if it's Sal, Jet Williams, and Josh Adamszewski for Yordan Alvarez, I'm doing it.
You almost have to, bro.
Yeah,
you almost have to.
And I don't know that that's enough. I don't know if that's too much. I want to look at other trades of similar types before saying that that's a good deal. I think that's a good deal, but I'm not a GM.
Right.
So for me, the last thing I wanted to say, Jake, you talked about the runners with scoring or in scoring position. I think getting the averages back up, that was the biggest thing that I had there. I do think that they are due for some progression in that aspect. Looking at the way that they're slugging, strikeout percentage, and walk percentages, they are all within 1% of where they were on the whole for the season. The batting average is really just the thing that they're due for, like I said, I think for some progression. And the fact that they had the fifth hardest hard hit percentage with runners in scoring position in June and July, I feel like you just need to keep doing what you're doing, and the baseball gods are due to have you back towards where your averages look like. The three biggest guys needing that progression are William Contreras, who's batting 150 with runners in scoring position in June and July. He's batting 280 on the season. Joey Ortiz, who is batting 200 with runners in scoring position on the season, which is obviously not good, but he's batting 156 since June and July, even though his batting average has gotten better. With runners in scoring position, it hasn't. And then Christian Yelich, who is batting 268 with runners in scoring position in June and July, which is still above league average. But on the season, he's batting 286 with runners in scoring position. So, I'm not freaking out about Christian Yelich because his batting average is low. Yes, that's a bummer. But I really feel like he's a guy who's due for some progression as well. We're still seeing Christian Yelich hitting the ball hard. If he just gets that launch angle up a little bit, we're going to start seeing a lot more rocket singles and doubles and some home runs mixed in. I'm not pushing a panic button on Christian Yelich because he's still getting on base. And David just said it in the comments, ebbs and flows of a season, the batting average will improve. And the thing is, while they're still struggling in this area, they're still putting runs on the board and they're still winning games.
I feel like this is going to be weird, but I feel like Yelich hits the ball on the ground almost every time, and Contreras hits the ball in the air almost every time.
I would like to say that I agree with you, but I feel like William grounds into a lot of double plays. It's probably not a lot, but I feel like it's just happened a couple times recently. So I'm like, dude.
I think they stick out a little bit more because, the All-Star, the Iron Man, he literally plays every single game. So
right.
But I feel like he tries to hit home runs a lot with runners in scoring position or hit a double.
I want to just get him back to using the opposite field approach. That's when he's at his best, when he's using opposite field.
And I would say the Brewers as a team lead baseball in most hits to opposite field. So that's another hitting stat that they lead baseball in.
And that's the thing that Garrett Mitchell has been doing really well during his hot streaks.
Yeah.
Garrett Mitchell heading to left field. I'm so happy that we have a Garrett Mitchell healthy season. Oh, I'm so happy.
Better knock on wood real quick. Let's keep that around.
Yeah. We're probably going to give away some Garrett Mitchell rookie cards pretty quick here soon. Maybe we'll do that to kick off the second half of the season. So, all righty. That's where we're at. First half, second cap. That's our recap and recalibration. As always, if you are watching or listening to the show and there's stuff you want us to talk about, comment on one of our posts, send us a message, let us know if there's something else you want to hear us talk about. Next week is going to be our trade deadline targets. David asked, is Bauers the offensive MVP for the first half? I don't really see how you could say it's anybody else, to be honest with you.
I think it would have been Churio if he was healthy the whole year, but as of right now, it is Jake Bauers.
And if you went from June 1st till now, it's probably Garrett Mitchell. But on the first half of the season, you have a hard time saying anybody but Bauers.
I mean, if Bryce Terang didn't go on that huge slump, he would have had an argument. He went on a pretty massive slump, but
I feel like that's what kept him out of the All-Star game too. Even though
I agree.
His entire season numbers are still really good. Yeah. That slump, I think, is what cost him an All-Star appearance. But
I agree, it sucks. Maybe next
David,
year.
Thanks for hopping in. Tune in again next week. It's going to be our trade deadline show, and then stay tuned as always. We're doing series recaps after every series, and then at the beginning of every week we are doing minor league affiliate recaps. So yesterday we just put up AA recaps updates. We'll keep doing those and cycling through. So next week will be high A Appleton numbers. And we're going to get the second half going. Jay said to take Terang out of the 3 spot. That's when his struggle started. I don't know where else you can move him, though. Like maybe put him at 2 and put Yelich at 3 or Vaughn at 3. David, that's a good question. I actually meaning to put one together to get one posted for what our schedule looks like for the upcoming weeks. So other than that, David, if you follow our page, I've been putting our next scheduled show as the cover photo. So check in that as well. And then just follow along and check the page. We're posting almost every single day, something to do with Wisconsin sports. So thank you for tuning in. Jay said 2. I'd love to see the average of the 3 spot compared to his other spots in the order. I will look that up and I can let you know. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, David. Thanks, Jay.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.